Peace and blessings. Welcome back. We are here with our handsome Kato. This is part 12. We are working on our handsome Kato. He's coming along quite nicely. Let's take a look at his limbs. He is really looking quite nice, quite nice. We are going to do some additional touches on our Kato. Let's take a look at the feet, the soles that we were kind of working with. So you see we cleaned those up quite nicely. We're going to go ahead, add some additional color, and then we will do a little bit of more blush. Oh, it looks so nice, the soles of the feet. So I am quite happy with the way he is coming out. I can hardly wait for him to be all done. This is a very lovely kit. This is Kate by Marissa May. I think I am going to get another one of these kits. This is such a beautiful kit. The kit is Kate, but it looks very, very lovely as a boy. Very lovely. Very, very lovely as a boy. Our color is really, really very nice on our kit here. The color is really nice. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I want to uh, continue the adding touches to our kit here. We're going to go inside his ears some more to deepen up that color. Here we are. We're going to use our number 4, which is a combination of colors that it's a combination of different browns that I mixed up and put together. Um, I'm glad that so many are enjoying the series, and that it is helping in some way. I'm grateful for that. I'm also on Facebook, same name on Facebook. You can find me there. I have some work that I've posted on there as well. So we are going to go over our Kato's, his ears. Okay. So I'm gonna go inside. Let me try to move my chair up because I keep seemingly not being in camera. I don't want to have too much on. I just kind of want to have a thin amount. You know, it's important to kind of apply the paint sheer, and slowly build it up to add dimension. And of course, we know it is extremely important to blend, to pounce and to, blend out nicely. So we can see inside. You see, it's still light, and I want it to still be a little bit light in there, just for the dimension, because we have the top of the ear, again, that is a bit darker. Then we're going to have the inside, which is going to be a little bit lighter, okay, to give that, added dimension. So he's coming along quite nice, quite nice. Now we are going to do the other ear. Same thing. Mixing up our paint, making sure, because it settles so quick. Um, have our sheer layer that we're putting on. A sheer layer that we're putting on. It's coming along quite nicely. And remember, we have that little spot on the ear. We're going to just tap inside. Again, just that little tiny tap, staying in the center of that area. We don't want to spread it out. We want to just have it in the center there. Those type of things, when they occur, you can make them into a birthmark or a mole or something, something of that nature, or sometimes a scratch, depending on what it is. Now, we still have this darker paint out, which is quite nice, quite nice, quite nice. Um, I'm looking at the sides of Kato's forehead, and I want to put a little bit more color just here, just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can just get a little thin amount of color. I want to make sure that my sponge is a little bit moist. So we like that sponge to be moist. Our cosmetic wedge, we use the principle of beauty blender applying foundation. You generally, immerse the beauty blender in water, you squeeze it out, and then you go ahead and blend your foundation. And it gives that kind of like an airbrush effect, which is something that we're kind of hoping on with this um, moistening this cosmetic wedge. I'm going to start on this part of his head because this is not going to really be visible because we will be rooting his hair. I just want to kind of see the color just to kind of make sure before I go on his face. And remember, I said I kind of go around in a bit of a circle so that the edges are blended nicely so that there's nothing harsh, no harsh edges, no harsh edges. So we're gonna, this color is very nice, very nice. Okay, so you see that. Now what I am going to do, I'm going to very gingerly add a little bit of that to those temples, and going to gingerly blend that out to both sides of the temples, and we're going to just kind of gingerly blend that because we want to have nice, beautiful chocolate complexion. We want that. It is possible to achieve it, so we're going to work to get it. Now you see I'm pouncing around to kind of try to blend it so that we don't have any harsh lines. Again, I'm using the principle of the beauty blender and foundation, kind of going around. And if you wear makeup, you know that you kind of go around all parts to kind of get a nice little bit of continuity over Okay, and that's what we're doing. Even though we're focusing on the temples to get that color the way we want it, we still kind of went around a little bit on the forehead and the rest of the face so that we have a little bit, just a little bit of that color. But remember, we're keeping the highlight in the mid face. Okay, and which is coming quite nice. Coming quite nice. Quite nice. Now, since we like that color, we're going to go on the rest of the head up to up to the neck, because we're not going to go all the way down the neck. We want the neck to remain a little bit darker, because that is actually, um, in a sense, the way a melanated, the melanin uh, looks on a ethnic or AA baby or person. Someone with melanin, the neck tends to be a little bit darker, just a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So he has such a beautiful shaped head. He would look nice as a bald baby. I've never done bald babies. I've never painted hair. I've only rooted. I root hair, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, and actually, I've only rooted human jerry curl hair. I intend to get some nice mohair, I think, for our Kato. I think the mohair, that soft mohair, would look very nice on him. I think that would look very nice on him, because the only hair I have is the honey blonde jerry curl hair, and then I have some other hair that's darker and it's straight, but I don't think it would look. I don't think that it would look good on him. I don't think that the texture would look, you know, good on him. I think having some nice mohair would look good on him. So we're going to let this portion dry, the ears to dry, and while we have this darker color out, I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else that we need to use this darker color. Since we have it out, I will go ahead. I can go ahead in his nose with this detailed brush, just a little bit, not much, but just a little bit. This detailed brush, and I'm bracing my hand on my other hand, and that's what I'm doing. I'm really having a lot of fun and enjoyment reborning. It's so nice to see uh, the product, when you're working on something come to life. It's so very much rewarding, and it's very nice. It's very nice, and I'm happy that I jumped out and started doing it on YouTube, because I'm getting such lovely comments and, feedback, and being told that, that I'm doing something that is helping others. Um, it's very nice. It's very nice. Very nice. It's very, very nice to hear that. So I'm grateful. Definitely grateful. Gonna gonna pounce or pat, I should say, in the nose. I don't want to pounce because I don't want it to spread. I want it to stay inside. Inside. I think I just wiped all, not all of it, but some of it off on this side. I want to put it back. Okay. All right, good. Now I may go in again with it. We have that nice uh, shadow. Ooh, almost touched him. The nice shadow inside his nose. Okay. Now we're going to put this color away, and I'm just going to pause it because I don't want to spill anything. So I'm going to pause just 1 second. Okay, we're back. We have the burnt umber, which is, I have a little bit of black in there and a slight amount of yellow ochre in there. So we have our arm, Kato's arm. Now what I want to do is deepen up the color around the elbow, the wrist, and on the fingers, certain areas on the fingers. Okay, to do that, I'm going to use my angled brush so that I can have more control. Right, so I'm using the burnt umber because it's a little bit darker, and I want to have that bit of darkness. So what we're going to do, we're going to go around on the elbow. It does look the same color or maybe a little bit darker, and we're going to just continue to kind of build up that color because that's how some of the coloring is, um, to give that realistic effect. So as it begins to dry, you're going to see it's going to get a little bit darker. So I am kind of going around, pouncing it around, and just spreading it kind of like a nice little airbrush kind of look. Can you see? Okay, so you see the color. Now it's going to begin to, um, you're going to begin to see it blend in once it's dry. Because right now, of course, it's wet. So it's going to dry and you're going to see that it's going to blend in and it's going to be a little bit darker. And we may need to do maybe 1 or 2 more coats of that, but we'll see. Now we're going to go around the wrist and do the same thing. Always make sure to stir your paint because they settle, and so we're going to go around the wrist just a little bit. Remember, we kind of don't want a lot on our brush at one time. We're just going to go around the wrist a little bit here, and to give that shading effect that adds to the realism factor. Okay, and we're going to pounce around to blend, pounce around to blend, so that it kind of blends nicely up around the wrist and slightly up the arm, not high up on the arm, but just up a little bit. And as it begins to dry, it's going to show a little bit deeper. Feel like I have some paint on my hand, and I don't want to get it anywhere on the kit. I like to keep these whites right next to me. These are unscented um, organic baby wipes. I like to have them right here next to me, and then I can wipe my hands. Um, these happen to be Amazon Elements. This is one of their products from Amazon, which it comes in a big box with multiples of it. So it's very nice. I even keep them in the bathroom too. So yes, so we went across the wrist, uh, and the elbow. Now we're gonna go around on the let me see, I think the paint might be on brush. Let me take a paper towel and go around the brush a little bit. Put this in the garbage. Let's see, go around. Okay. All right. So now, all right. So we're gonna go around the fingers a little bit. See if I can get in camera. Okay. Kind of like on the creases, certain parts of the finger. Okay. We want to darken that up just a little bit. Where the finger is bent, we're going to go above and below the bend. Not 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 on this part, I should say, not on this part, because that would kind of be like a little bit lighter, kind of like I don't know, like a white knuckle effect. And we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go on the thumb. Now we're going to see if we can pounce this out. I'm gonna moisten this brush just a little bit again so we can have that beauty blender effect. I have kabuki brush that came with my Ultimate Fusion air dry paints. I used the kabuki brush on my first doll that I reborn, which was Sonnet, and it does give a nice effect. However, I find that I can use the this type of brush or the wedges and get the results that I like. So you can maybe see a little bit of the deep tone. You can see it on the thumb pretty well. And you can see a little bit on the fingers. So we're going to go through with that. And we're going to go over the other elbow. And I'm going to, you don't have to watch me do this elbow. I don't want the video to be too long. Okay, so I've completed both arms, one leg with the deepening tones. So now I'm going to complete this right leg with the deepening tones. And I hope that this will give us the color that we are looking for. I'm going to pounce it out. I'm just going to moisten just a little bit so that I can, again, get that beauty blender effect. Okay. Pounce that out. Let's see. I think it's looking good. I think so. I think so. Let's see. where it has the shine to it. It's wet. Now, when it dries, it should dry the color that we need. Now we're going to go around the ankle, and after we do the ankle, I think we're going to go back around to the head, because we're going to change the colors. We're going to go to the lips, and once we have that color changed, we'll then come back and do the soles of the feet here. So, because remember we made some corrections on the amount of, or the height, or the width, I should say, of the color going down to the sole of the foot. So we kind of pulled back a little bit of that. You can see how I did that in the video prior to this one. That would be what, number 10 or 11? I'm not sure what number I'm on now. Okay, so we're gonna go across the toes. Let's see, can you see me? With this deep color. And trying to get it where, where it looks real. Okay. Pounce out. Pounce, pounce, pounce. This brush that I'm using, it's a makeup brush, and it is Wet n Wild. It is a shadow brush, and it works quite nicely. I have a few of them for different colors. So I had only been using this one, but I took out another one if I decide to pounce with the lighter colors. If I decide to pounce, and I put some tape on it. This has black tape, so it's for like the dark colors, the browns. This one has yellow tape. This one I can use for like that the tan, that light color, the nutmeg color. So we now have done the foot, the knee, the toes, and we're gonna see how that looks. Let's see, we can go to the first arm that we did. Let's see, can we see any deepening of the color? We're gonna go with another bit of it. I think we can do it now because it should be dry. Generally by the time you do all of the parts, it's usually enough time in between that it should be dry. So I'm gonna go again with this here. We're hoping that we can deepen it up, because the only deeper color that I have, it would actually be black, and I don't know that the black would do well with this. Although if I did the black, a pinch of black with more of a deep brown, kind of do the reverse of this, where this is mostly burnt umber and just a small bit of black. Maybe if I did it in reverse, I could get a much deeper color that could maybe give the depth color that I'm looking for on the elbow and the wrist. See, I'm trying to find where my camera is. Yeah, okay. So we're going to try and go across the wrist as well again. And this is a learning process for me and maybe even for you too. I am a new reborn artist. This is October 2020, and I have been reborning since the end of August. I said 2020, I'm sorry. October 2025, and I have been reborning since August 2025. And so it's just only a few short months. So I still have, as we all do, you know, uh, to learn, you know. There's always, we can always learn something, right? We can always learn something. We can learn from everybody, really. You can learn something. Okay, now we're going to go across. I love the way that thumb looks. You can see the color. Let's see. You can see it on that thumb. It looks quite, it looks quite nice. Let's go back. I see just a little bit. Okay. Okay, I can see some of the color is coming the way I want it to be. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm definitely happy. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Have you had the opportunity to look at some of my other videos around the beginning of my channel where I talk about different things? I talk a little bit more about me. I talk more about reborning or being a collector. And so you can look back at those videos and see, you can see my very first doll that I purchased as an adult collector. Her name is Ebony. I named her Ebony, and she is a Ashton Drake doll, and I love her very much. I still have her. I still have her. She is a sweetheart. She is a sweetheart. Yes. Yeah. So some of those earlier videos, I talk a little bit more about myself, a little bit about my family, collecting, different things, different things. So this is looking nice. This blend is looking nice. I like it. I like it. You know, one thing about striving to create realism with these beautiful chocolate babies is it takes, um, you know, different, kind of like different techniques to get that look that we, you know, to make the baby look real and not just like a doll, you know, you know. Now, it's nothing wrong if you desire to reborn and have, you know, your reborn look like, you know, a doll. That's fine. That's fine because, you know, we like different things. For as many people as there are different likes and dislikes. So That might be something that, you do want. Um, I'm just striving to create depth and realism, and I'm enjoying doing it. I really am enjoying doing it very much, very much. Pouncing or blending is something that's really very important. It's very important. I use the analogy all the time of makeup because when you apply makeup, if you don't blend, it does not look good. It will look cakey, like you just put it on and didn't do anything with it. But to achieve a natural look, you have to blend. Even if you wear what's called, natural makeup, where a no makeup look, so to speak, um, it still takes some doing to get it that way. Have a little little speck, a little piece of fluff looks like. I have on my air purifier, but there's always something in the atmosphere, right? There's always a little something in the atmosphere. So now we're going again over our kit. Usually the air dry paint kind of will dry enough in 20 minutes or so that you're able to go with another layer. Um, and it won't hurt. It won't lift it because it's dry. Now it will dry maybe in that 20 minutes where you can put another coat of paint on. However, it takes 72 hours to 7 days for it to fully cure. So when you finish doing all of your painting, when you finish reborning your doll, you generally have to wait that 72 hours or so for the paint to cure. Then you can seal it, and after um, you seal it, you wait again the 24 hours or so. You would wait 24 to maybe 48 hours for the seal to set, and then you can root the hair. You can then root the hair, then glue the hair, and while you're gluing the hair, you can go ahead with the magnets. You can put the magnets in, and what else is it? Oh, the eyes. Yeah, you can do the eyes. Right, right. Honey is an open eye baby. We're doing that series as well. So we'll go over the eyes. Now, what I like to do is I've done tons of them. Well, the first kit that I did that was an open eye baby is Lillian, and she was my second reborn that I did. And um, I cut her, the eyes at the end, just before I wanted to put them in. And it occurred to me that it might be a better choice to cut the back of the eyes, with a little slit before I did anything else with the kit, before I painted, before I did anything, because it was easier for me to work with the kit that way. And then when I will, after I've done everything and I put, paint and do everything, then when I put the eyes in, it'll be easier because I won't be trying to cut anything or, what have you. So I think that'll be, good. Um, what I will do, since I have this deep color, this burnt umber still out, I'm going to go over Kato's, the tip of his ears again. Um, the tip. Then I go a little bit on that inside, a little bit. Let's see where it's wet there. So, um, yeah. And then I kind of go around a little bit behind the ear so that there is continuity. Now we will go ahead and we will pounce. Now while we're pouncing, this is blending nicely. I keep talking about blending. It's important. It's important. It's very important. And it's important that we make sure that the creases are clear, meaning no pooling. Okay. And it's, you can try to use, when you have the paint out, a particular color, you try to think of what else you need that color for while you have it out. Um, and that can kind of save you a few steps, a little, So, make sure that it's blended nicely behind here. Yeah, it is. You see. Okay. Now we're going to do the other ear. Just go across again. I like working with smaller brushes uh, because it gives me, I feel like I have a little bit more control over where the paint is going. You know, for me, it works out. It seemingly works out better for me that way. And that might be because I'm still so very new at it. But, I know if you use a larger brush, you can cover more um, area at, at one time. Um, but I'm not so worried about covering a lot of area at one time. I'm concerned with me trying to control where the paint is going and what it looks like. You know, maybe in the future I might be able to use larger brushes and, things, like that. But right now, where I am in my journey, I like using the smaller ones because, like I said, it gives me that amount of control that I'm seeking. Okay. Okay, those beautifully chocolate ears. And we have that little tiny spot that's on the ear. We're going to just take a tiny, 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 the tiniest of dots and put it in the middle. You cannot even see, you cannot even see where the area is actually. I'm going to go inside here. Make sure there's no pooling. Okay. And we can see that. That's very nice. Very nice. I'm going to pause so I can change the color of the paint. Okay, we're back with our number 4 color that we're going inside the ear. Trying to deepen it up. We don't want too much, again, we don't want too much of a contrast. We just want to subtly deepen it. And one of the things that's important is we're using this color in the ear and we have a little bit, on the face. So that helps to maintain continuity. So you just don't have like a color that is like out of nowhere, you know. It kind of looks nice to have that bit of continuity. So, okay. Okay, if you can see a little bit, still a little bit lighter in there, but it's a nice shade of brown and it complements, I think it complements the deep color of the burnt umber. Now we're going to go on this other ear. We're going to do the same thing, right? So we went a little bit outside of where we want it to be. So we're going to just tap that away. Okay. And we're going to take our little brush here. We're going to pounce. I like this brush because it's small and it gets into different areas nicely. Like I said, it is a Wet and Wild brush. Let's see, I have one. I can show you. It's Wet and Wild, and it's an eyeshadow brush. And it was very affordable on Amazon. I bought, I don't know, maybe 4 of them. Wet and Wild is a very affordable brand of. They have affordable makeup. They have affordable brushes, things of that nature. So, um, you know, so I like that brush. Now I have this little thing that is there. It's. I just got this to kind of see if it will remove air, not air, if it will remove different particles easily, but I'm not seeing that it's moving stuff. I don't know. It might move the what is it called? The powders. It might move the powders. So I'm gonna see when I get ready to do powders again. Otherwise, I will be sending it back. Returning it, I should say. I purchased it from Amazon and it came with 6. 6 was in there. So I went on ahead and I got the 6. Because the 6 was a pretty good price versus getting one for that same price and they all looked the same. So I went and got the 6. Okay, so what we did the ears. Now we have that color out. So we're going to go in the eyes again, just a little bit to create that shadow in between the upper and the lower lid. We're just gonna tap in there, just go in there a little bit. I'm gonna brace my arms. Bracing them on my desk. Okay. It's nice because this kind of helps to create, again, shadow and depth. Even though we'll be putting on lashes, we'll be rooting the lashes, but still, um, this will give a nice look to the lashes. I mean, to the eyelids. You know, you have an upper and a lower eyelid. And let's see if you can see. And the other thing that you can see is, you see how we have the eye highlighted? So you see, and we have it highlighted, and we have a little bit of the eyelid purple. So the eye, it's like you can see the eyeball, like the shape of the eyeball. Now, I think that looks quite nice. And I'm gonna just take a little bit, since we're here with this color, and we're gonna go in the nose. I'm gonna mix this up some more. We're gonna go in the nose again. And we're gonna go in the nose again. And that way, we're just deepening it up. And remember that outside of the nose, we have the skin color. So it looks, it looks nice. It's not going to look, like a stark amount of black, or like a deep, deep, deep shadow where it's like, oh my, why does that look like that? It won't be that way. So, okay, that looks good. Okay. I'm going to change colors again. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, we have our nutmeg color. These jars came 6 in a pack. They have different color lids. And I just mix my colors in here, and I kind of label and number them. I got them from off of Amazon because why? It's convenient. They have different types. This is a 3 ounce, and it's, like I said, 3 ounces, and it's 6 in there. So I like it. I like them a lot because they store, and you can stack them on top of each other. They're glass. I can see through them, and I find that's very helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the mid face with on our baby. Let's see, is there something on his face? No. A little bit. Let me just take a little bit. I moisten the what do you call the Q-tip, the pointed Q-tip, because I saw a little something that was on there. So I moistened it ever so slightly, and I was able to get it off. And I see where we did the line, and it just kind of came out a little bit. So I'm taking that out as well. The thing is, you could take certain things away a little bit if you barely touch it with a moistened Q-tip, or this, what is this called? The microblading Q-tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the very mid face with this um, nutmeg color, this cafe con leche, this hot cocoa color. I'm gonna go in, but I'm not gonna go over his eyes. I'm just gonna go pretty much everywhere else. Let's see if I can show you where I am, what I'm doing. Okay. Now with this, you have to kind of really work, somewhat fast because it's a color that I don't want to take it necessarily all over, but I am pouncing and blending it out so that it does blend in with the other colors. As you can see, what we did earlier is blending in, right? So it's coming out nice. I did not plan to have this video be a long video again, but it happens that it is long again. But I do hope that you're enjoying it. Actually, when I'm painting, I like watching long videos because it allows me the opportunity to enjoy someone's work while they're talking and I'm painting, and I don't have to change um, the this I don't have to change anything because it's a long video. And the thing is, you can always pause the video if you have to do something else or if you feel it's too long. You can pause it. Um, I strive to have the videos maybe 30 minutes or less, and this is double that pretty much. Um, However, you know, because it takes longer to upload when they're long, and so, and I don't want to wear you out, you know. So, and then we're gonna go a little bit on the chin, that nice highlight. Okay. Okay. So in person, okay. In person, that's kind of how he really looks. Right about there. That's how he looks in person. Where, he has this beautiful chocolate complexion and he has some slight highlights. Not a lot, but it's just a little bit of a highlight to his face where, you know, it gives some dimension. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to go around the fulcrum with the dark color and I put it away. It's okay though. All right, so I'm going to go inside the fulcrum with this color and I'm going to have to get that paint back out, that deeper color. I'll get it back out because I do want to go back around the fulcrum. I will probably just go ahead and do that off camera. Um, so our gentleman is looking quite nice. Now we're going to go around his lips again. We're going to take that little bit of, we're going to go on the inside. Let's see if you can see a little bit. I don't know. You can maybe see a little bit of, because what I do is I go on the inside of the inside of the line, the lip line, and I just kind of go straight. I just go straight. And what I'll do is I won't pounce. What I'll do is I'll just pat it, straight. Because I don't want it to spread. I want it to just be that little inside of the lip line. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Again, that's on the inside of the lip line. And we're just gonna pat it. Not pounce it, but just pat it. I don't know if you can see. Well, no, you may not can really see it because I patted it. Okay, I'm sorry. The lower lip, we're going to do the same thing with the lower lip, the bottom lip. We're going to put that on the inside of the line, the inside of the lip line. And, okay, you see the wet. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, you see that? Okay. And what I'll do is I'm just going to pat that in place. You know, just tap that in place, not pounce it, but just tap it. Okay. Now I'm going to go slightly above, and that's just going to give a little bit of shadow. So I'm going to go slightly above, right? Oops. Didn't mean to go there. Okay, so I went slightly above the line, the lip line. Now, I'm not overlining the lips. However, I'm creating some shadow. So now this one, I will go ahead and blend it out. And the reason that I'm striving to create just a little bit of a shadow is because the nose is creating some of the shadow. Okay, so you see how the lips are really taking shape. And we haven't even done anything to the actual lips inside other than when we put our foundation layers of paint, we put, I think we did 2 layers of the foundation color paint. And you see the lips look, they look really nice. They really look nice because we have done some, you know, the inside to separate, do some of the separation. We've outlined it, so it's coming along quite nicely, quite nicely. Let's see, while we have this color out, is there anywhere else? Oh, yes, there is. We want to go around the, you know, the foot where we had to do some of that paint. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to now pull it down. Gonna pull it, down a little bit into the color that's already there. And at a certain point, when this dries, we'll go again with the with a little bit of that red because we may have taken away a little bit of that blood flow coloring. So now we're just feathering. Oh, you can't see. We're just feathering down. I'm pulling the color toward the sole of the foot. And then gonna pounce it out to blend it. And I'm going in a motion like this, tapping, 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 so that it's kind of blending the color into the darker brown, you see? So just blending it in, right? And then we're gonna take, when this dries, a little bit of the red Oh yeah, I can bounce it. I did paint. Okay, you see? And we'll go over it. We're going to have to go over it again because we made corrections, right there. So we will have to go over it a little bit more. But that's fine. It's coming along, it's coming along, coming along. And we're going to look at this one here. Same thing we're going to do. We're going to bring that color down, bring it down. One of the things is you can always start with a lighter color, and if you need to, you can then go darker. But if you go too dark in the beginning, um, you know, it it may be challenging to try to correct that. It might be challenging. So you can always go light. But, yeah, I'm not in camera. I'm sorry. I'm pulling it down. The color, I'm pulling it down. Painting and pulling it down so that I'll blend, and it's gonna see. Now I'm gonna pounce it. So it's pounce. I'm pouncing, where it's going up a little bit and down a little bit so that it can blend. That's the magic word, blend. Blend, blend, blend. That's the magic word. That is the magic. So you can kind of see. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to have to do a little bit more. We'll have to take a little bit of the darker color and kind of go. And what we did is we were following the shape of the foot, going like that, the shape of the foot. Now, I would like to show you what this hand looks like. The thumb, you see the deeper color of the thumb and the fingers. Let's see, you see that? Right? And a little bit, you can see a little bit with the elbow and the wrist. Let's see. Okay, you can see it in this light. See the wrist? And you can see a little bit deeper color with the elbow. Okay, so we have both of the arms. We can see that, and we can see that as well on the leg, the knee. Actually, you can see right here, you can see the toes. You have that deeper color, the toes and the ankle. So that's nice. We may go over it again with the around the knee. We may do that again to get a little deeper coloring. Um, I think we might be done with what we're going to do on camera. I will probably go ahead and let him dry a little bit, and I will go, maybe I will do another little layer around the lips with the color, with this nutmeg color, but remember it takes about 20 minutes for it to dry before I can do any more coloring. So I think we will end this segment right here. I would like to ask you to like, comment, subscribe, share. Look for me on Facebook. Facebook, the same name. And thank you so much for your comments, your questions, your encouragement. Thank you so much. I am still learning how to do this. I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm enjoying you sharing in the journey with me. So enjoy your day. Stay safe. See you the next time. Kato says, see you the next time. Isn't he just the cutest? Oh my goodness. This kid is just absolutely gorgeous. Wow. See you next time. Peace and blessings.